Hello everyone, welcome to Digital Communication Tutorials. In this video, I am going to discuss on the topic maximization of output signal to noise ratio for matched filter receiver. Please note, this is also the optimality proof for matched filter receiver. In my previous video, I have given a brief introduction to matched filter receiver. In that session, we stated that the matched filter receiver is an optimal receiver. In this video, we prove that matched filter receiver is an optimal receiver by using the output signal to noise ratio as the optimality criteria. In simple words, we will prove that when the filter impulse response h of t is matched to the input signal phi of t as per the equation given, that is, if h of t is equals to phi of capital T minus small t, then the output signal to noise ratio will be maximum. If we prove this, then that proves that the matched filter receiver is an optimum receiver. The reason behind setting h of t is equals to phi of capital T minus small t was elaborately discussed in my previous video on introduction to matched filters. I suggest you to watch that video before continuing with this one. Assuming that you already have watched this video, let us continue with the derivation. Consider a linear filter of impulse response h of t with an input that consists of a known signal phi of t and an additive noise component given by w of t. Let x of t denote the input to the filter, that is x of t is given here, and we can then write x of t as phi of t plus w of t. Coming back to the diagram, you will see phi of t is the known signal which is the input, then we have the noise component given by w of t. Here to equation 1, we apply the constraint that t varies from 0 to capital T and capital T is called as the observation instant. Let us now choose the first component of equation 1, which is phi of t, as one of the orthonormal basis functions. Then the second component w of t is the sample function of a white Gaussian noise process of 0 mean and a power spectral density of n0 by 2. Now since we have assumed a linear filter, the output of this linear filter, which is represented by y of t, is given by phi naught of t plus n of t. Please note, we are currently talking about the output at this part. So y of t is equals to phi naught of t plus n of t, where phi naught of t as well as n of t are produced by the signal component phi of t and the noise component w of t of the input signal x of t respectively. Right. Since we are intending to prove that the matched filter receiver is an optimal receiver, we will demonstrate this by showing that the average power of the signal component phi naught of t is as large as possible compared with the average power of the output noise component n of t measured at time t is equals to capital T. This is equivalent to maximizing the output signal to noise ratio, which is defined as in equation 3. That is, SNR output is equals to signal component power divided by noise component power. We now show that this SNR will be maximum if the filter is matched to the known signal at the input, which is phi of t here. Let us now move on and define the Fourier transform pairs of the input signals. Let capital phi of f represent the Fourier transform of the input signal phi of t and capital H of f represent the transfer function of the filter. Then the Fourier transform of the output signal phi naught of t. Let us come back and see what is phi naught of t. You see, phi naught of t is the output component of the filter which is produced because of the known component at the input signal. So the Fourier transform of the output signal component phi naught of t is equal to h of f multiplied by phi of f. This in fact is a correct expression because if you come back and look into the input signal, the known signal component after being passed through a linear filter of impulse response h of t will provide an output which will be the convolution between phi of t and h of t. Once we apply Fourier transform to this convolution, we get the product in terms of the frequency domain, and that is what is being written here. So Fourier transform of phi naught of t equals h of f into phi of f. Also, we can say that phi naught of t is itself defined in terms of the inverse Fourier transform given as phi naught of t is equals to integral minus infinity to plus infinity. We will now put the Fourier transform of phi naught of t, which is equals to h of f into phi of f. This part is written here, multiplied by exponential of plus j 2 pi f t into df. Let us now continue and sample the output of this filter, which is phi naught of t, at t is equals to capital T. So, phi naught of capital T is equal to integral h of f into phi of f into exponential of j 2 pi f capital T. This is obtained by simply replacing small t in equation 4 by capital T. We can equivalently rewrite this expression by taking square on both sides as magnitude square of phi naught of capital T is equal to magnitude square of integral h of f phi of f into exponential of plus j 2 pi f capital T. Now, we have found the signal power component of the SNR output equation. Let us go back to the SNR equation. You see, the numerator in the RHS is nothing but magnitude square of phi naught of capital T, and this is what we just derived. Let us now move on and take the effect of the noise component W of t alone on the filter output. That is, we are now approximating for W of t here. In a very interesting note, we state that the power spectral density Sn of the output noise, which is n of t, is equal to the power spectral density of the input noise, which is W of t, multiplied by the squared magnitude of the transfer function. So this is the definition. So in terms of simple words, we can write it as power spectral density of output noise is equal to power spectral density of input noise multiplied by magnitude square of the transfer function h of f. Now, we note that the input noise component W of t is actually a function of the white Gaussian noise process of zero mean and power spectral density n0 by 2. So, let us now replace the power spectral density of W of t back into the equation. So, we will then get the power spectral density of output noise, which is equals to S capital N of f, written here, equals to the power spectral density of input noise, which is equals to n0 by 2 multiplied by magnitude square of the transfer function. So this represents the power spectral density of output noise. To find out the output power, we need to now average the power spectral density, and that is what we do next. So we state that the average power of the output noise, which is n of t, is given as expectation on n square of t equals, since we have the power spectral density as a continuous function, we need to integrate between the limits minus infinity to plus infinity. So that is what is being done here. So the average power of the output noise is given by integral minus infinity to plus infinity S capital N of f df. Previously, we have obtained an expression for Sn of f. So we will replace this part into this part here to obtain the average power as integral minus infinity to plus infinity n0 by 2 magnitude square of the transfer function, which is h of f into df. Rearranging this equation by taking n0 by 2 outside, we will get n0 by 2, then integral minus infinity to plus infinity magnitude square of h of f into df. Right. This equation represents the average power of the output noise. So now we have found the power of the noise component, which is given by equation 8 here, as well as the power of the signal component, which is given by equation 6 here. We will now substitute these powers back into the output SNR equation to get SNR output equals to, we will first represent equation 6, which is the signal power, divided by, then we are representing equation 8, which is the noise power. Now, our problem is to find a form of the transfer function h of f of the linear filter considered that makes this equation, that is this SNR output, a maximum, while making sure the Fourier transform of the input signal phi of t is fixed. This condition is also called as the optimality criteria. So, to find the solution to this optimality criteria, we apply a mathematical result called as Schwarz inequality, which is of the form magnitude square of product of two components is less than or equal to the product of magnitude square of each of the component. So we will now apply this particular equation into the numerator of equation 9, because you see we have h of f multiplied by phi of f. Then we have the squared magnitude. So now let us apply the Schwarz inequality to the numerator of equation 9 to get the numerator is rewritten here, and this is less than or equal to, we will now find the product of individual squares. So this will be written as integral minus infinity to plus infinity magnitude square of the transfer function, then multiplied by integral minus infinity to plus infinity the magnitude square of the Fourier transform of input signal, which is phi of f. So this equation is derived from the Schwarz inequality property. Please note that. Now let us substitute equation 11 back into the equation 9. So this is what is written here. SNR output now is less than or equal to, because please note we have applied the Schwarz inequality, and according to the Schwarz inequality we should replace this part, which is the equal symbol, by less than or equal to symbol. So the new SNR equation is SNR output is less than or equal to the RHS of equation 11 divided by the denominator of the previous SNR equation rewritten as it is. Now, we note in the numerator and denominator part that we have a common term, that is integral minus infinity to plus infinity magnitude square of h of f into df is common in both the numerator as well as the denominator. So let us cancel them out, and the remaining equation would be SNR output is less than or equal to, the numerator part is integral minus infinity to plus infinity magnitude square of phi of f divided by the power spectral density of the input noise, which is n0 by 2. Let us now rewrite this equation by taking the denominator to the numerator as SNR output is less than or equal to 2 by n0 multiplied by integral minus infinity to plus infinity magnitude square of phi of f into df. Right. This is the final expression for the output signal to noise ratio of the linear filter considered. From equation 12, we note that the output SNR is defined in terms of two quantities. The first quantity is actually the signal energy. However, please note this is represented in terms of Fourier transform. If I have to write the same in terms of time domain, it will be integral minus infinity to plus infinity magnitude square of phi of t dt. We should note that the energy of the signal, irrespective of whether it is represented in terms of time domain or in frequency domain, will be the same. So we can call this part, that is integral magnitude square of phi of f into df, as the energy of the signal phi of t. Secondly, we note that the SNR output is also defined in terms of the power spectral density of the input noise, which is equal to n0 by 2. So this is what is the interesting characteristics of the output SNR equation. Further, from equation 12, we note that the output signal to noise ratio will be maximum when, coming back to the SNR equation here, the term h of f is chosen such that the less than or equal to symbol is replaced by an equal symbol, because the maximum SNR is given by the equal symbol here. So we will rewrite the equation 12 by eliminating the inequality and introducing the equality symbol as SNR output maximum is equals to 2 by n0 into integral minus infinity to plus infinity magnitude square of phi of f df. Please note, the only change between equation 12 and equation 14 is replacement of less than or equal to symbol by the equal to symbol. That is why we state the SNR now as SNR maximum. Now, let us assume that the form of the transfer function h of f at which equation 14 is satisfied is denoted as h optimum of f. Now we intend to find a form for h optimum of f. In order to do that, let us now go back to the Schwarz inequality in equation 11 here. To find the h optimum of f, let us equate the LHS of equation 11 as well as the RHS of equation 14, which represents the maximum value of the output SNR. This is written here. You see, LHS of equation 11, RHS of equation 14. From analyzing equation 15, we find that except for a scaling factor which is equals to 2 by n0, the optimum value of the transfer function, which actually should be replacing the h of f term in equation 15 LHS here, is defined as h optimum of f equals phi star of f into exponential of minus j2 pi ft, where phi star of f is the complex conjugate of the Fourier transform of the input signal phi of t. Let us verify whether this is correct. If I replace this term, that is, if I replace h of f by the RHS of equation 16, what I will have is phi star of f into exponential of minus j2 pi f capital T, followed by phi of f into exponential of plus j2 pi f capital T. So exponential of minus term and exponential of plus term cancels out. So what remains now is integral minus infinity to plus infinity phi star of f multiplied by phi of f. For time being, let us forget the square here. So what will then remain is integral minus infinity to plus infinity phi star of f into phi of f df, which is nothing but integral minus infinity to plus infinity magnitude square of phi of f. So what we have defined for the H optimum of f in equation 16 is in fact the correct representation that must be made in the LHS of the Schwarz inequality equation to make sure the output SNR is maximum. So equation 16 states that except for a time delay factor given by exponential of minus j2 pi f capital T, the transfer function of the optimum filter is the same as the complex conjugate of the spectrum of the input signal. So that is what is the form of the H optimum of f. Further, you should also note equation 16 specifies the match filter in frequency domain. To obtain the time domain representation of H optimum of f, let us apply inverse Fourier transform to equation 16 here. That is what is done here. So H optimum of t is equals to integral minus infinity to plus infinity H optimum of f into exponential of plus j2 pi f t into df. Let us replace H optimum of f by the RHS of equation 16, and this is rewritten here. So this is equals to integral phi star of f exponential of minus j2 pi f t multiplied by this term, which is exponential of plus j2 pi f t into df. Please note, when I take the exponential term from the optimality equation, we have a capital T, and in the inverse Fourier transform, we have a small t. Let us simplify this. This is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity phi star of f into exponential of, we have a lot of common terms here, which is minus j2 pi f into capital T minus small t into df. We have previously stated that the orthonormal basis functions are real valued signals, and for any real valued signal we have phi star of f is equals to phi of minus f. Therefore, now let us substitute phi star of f equals to phi of minus f in the RHS of equation 17, which is rewritten as integral minus infinity to plus infinity phi of minus f into the exponential of minus j2 pi f capital T minus small t into df. This term is equal to phi of capital T minus small t. This in fact is the expression we started this discussion with. Let me just go back and show you that. You see, we started by saying the impulse response of the linear filter should be defined as phi of capital T minus small t, and if this is so, SNR output is maximum. Now, in our derivation, we started by stating SNR output is maximum, and then we started finding an expression for H of f, and this in terms of time domain is given by phi of capital T minus small t. So, equation 18 shows that the impulse response of the optimum filter is nothing but a time reversed and a delayed version of the input signal phi of t. That is, the filter is matched to the input signal phi of t. So, to conclude, we have now shown that the matched filter receiver is an optimum receiver because by choosing H optimum of t equals to phi of capital T minus small t, we obtain the maximum output signal to noise ratio. Right. That completes the proof for the optimality of the matched filter receiver. In my next video, I will discuss on the properties of matched filters. If you like this video, kindly press that like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos on digital communication. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.